So this is really typical. You get your lawnmower out in the spring and it won't start. It's got gas, switch is on, everything's good to go, but it won't start. Maybe it'll just pop off and it won't stay running. Typically the problem is that over time, while it was sitting, a bunch of stuff gunked up in the bottom of the carburetor and plugged up the little jet that allows fuel to go into the motor. And it's pretty simple to clean that out. I'll show you how to do it right now. So on this particular mower, it's just a 13 wrench to take this bolt off the bottom of the carburetor that holds the bowl on. You're probably going to run a little bit of gas out when you're doing this, so keep that in mind depending on where you take it apart. So you can see there's a whole bunch of crud floating around in the bottom of here, which is undoubtedly what the problem is. And this right here is called the float, and that has a little needle in the back of it that when the bowl fills up with gas, that presses up and that needle stops gas from flowing into the bowl. And as the motor uses the gas, this of course goes down with the level of fuel in the bowl and it starts letting gas run in again. So if I was to tip my mower down, see the gas tank's tipped on its side right now, it should start running gas out of there pretty good. And there it is, you can see it coming out. And if I lift up on this, it'll stop. Let it down, it's running gas out again. So the float's moving freely, it's letting gas into the bowl correctly. I'm going to tip it back up here again. So in the middle of this little stem that sticks down, there's a jet that goes with a tiny hole in it that goes up through the middle and lets the motor draw that gas up through the carburetor and into the cylinder. And what I'm going to do is stick a little piece of strand of copper electrical wire up through that jet and clean it out, and I'll show you how to do that. So what you want to do is just take a little piece of copper wire like this, stranded, and strip a bunch of the coating off the end of it. And the reason I use this is because these are so small. These jets have really small holes in. You need a really small little piece of wire to stick up through them. And then this is going to be really hard to do with one hand holding the phone, but we'll give it a try here. What I want to do is stick that up in that little hole in the middle of there and just move it around to dislodge anything that's plugging that up. And it may require two hands to do this, so I'll get it started and start recording here again. So you may have to work at it a little bit, but what I did here is I got that wire up in that little tiny hole in the middle of there, and I'm just moving it around to dislodge anything that's stuck in there. There we go. Trying to get that to focus in for you here. And I'm going to go ahead and pull that out and dump any crap out of here. I might actually spray this out a little bit with carb cleaner and spray the bottom of that with carb cleaner because there was a lot of junk floating around in here. And then we'll see how she goes. Okay, so I took a can of carb cleaner and sprayed it around, sprayed all that stuff real good. I even bent the little red tube and sprayed up in that middle thing I was sticking the wire in. And I sprayed this out. I'm going to put it back together now. This is just a quick backyard fix here. Ideally, you would take this fuel line off the back of the carb here, which you have to remove the carb to do that because you can't get at it. And you could drain everything out of the gas tank. You could also tip the mower over and drain the tank and get, because we saw some contaminants floating around the bottom of here. The reason I'm not doing that right now is because I just put fresh gas in here not too long ago. I think it was just some remnants of what was left over in the line that were plugging everything up. So okay, the bowl's back on. We're going to tip this down. Right now that float inside there just went down. Gas should be coming out of the tank, running into the mower, into the carburetor bowl, filling it up. We're going to give it a minute to do that. This primer on mine doesn't work very well, so I'm going to give it a few pumps here. And we will pull it over and see what happens here. Sorry, it was kind of hard to pull over with one hand, so I had to set the phone down, but after a few pulls and a few pumps on the primer, we're running again.